Welcome to Burping It Out podcast with Anna Regina. I'm Anna Regina, and this is Burping It Out, where we don't say what we think, we burp it out. Today we're going to talk about periods. I was actually going to talk about period stories today, because I have some good ones, but none of you care about that. So we're going to talk about the prejudice that there's around them, because I think that should be talked about. A lot of people talk about it, but I still want to do it myself. So we're going to do it. So I got my period at 11 years old. Women are getting their periods earlier right now. I don't know if you know, but they used to get it at, 13, 14, some 15. And now, generally, they're getting it earlier because of the food that we're eating and blah, blah, blah. Okay. I know some girls that got it at 12, 10, 9. Everybody's different, okay? And the problem is that there was a point where, everybody knew about periods. All of the girls in the generation, they knew about them, but, didn't want to admit that they had it. So, we all knew about it, but you couldn't know whether somebody had theirs or not. So, actually, the first time I heard of periods was when I was 11. It was a Wednesday, I remember. Me, my mom, and my grandma went to my friend's house because they invited us over to diner. And they were talking about the periods, and they were talking about how other girls had already gotten their periods. And I was like, what's the period? And they told me, it's women who bleed through their pee-pee hole, and that means they can get pregnant or something. Or that means they women. I don't know what the fuck they said, but they said some shit like that. And I remember, okay, so I told you already that was a Wednesday. Well, I got my period on Friday that same week. I don't know. It was a huge coincidence. Honestly, I don't think that talking about it kind of stimulated my body to to get the period, because obviously, that makes no sense. It could make sense, but no, that's not the point. The thing is, that was a huge coincidence, literally. So, nobody admitted they had their periods. Honestly, I had a friend who, we told each other everything. Secrets, crushes, everything. We told each other everything, and we told each other we had our periods. I actually told her I had mine, and then she told me she had hers, and she got it at 10. It's okay if I say this because you don't know who she is, so it's fine. I don't know, I felt like I needed to say that. And nobody admitted they had it. However, they were, subconsciously, they were all, and not really me, because I wasn't really, I didn't care whether other girls had their period or not. I didn't give a fuck. As long as nobody found out that I had mine, I didn't care. So, yeah. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I remember there was this time where, I don't know, my friends, they were trying to do gymnastics, whatever the fuck. And you could see one of my friends was wearing leggings. And leggings, because they're tight and stuff, you can sometimes, a lot of the time, see, you can tell, the panties and everything, right? And so you could see that she had a pad. I actually didn't see it, but another friend of mine saw that, and she was like, oh my god, I don't know, let's say, Nancy. Oh my god, Nancy, you're wearing a pad! And she shouted that, okay, it wasn't funny, especially for Nancy, but, dude, how are you so, dude, if she didn't tell anybody anything about her periods because she wants to keep it to herself, or, she wants to keep it private, or whatever the fuck, why would you do that? You're so disrespectful. Okay, we were 11, but, you still know what's right and what's wrong. You shouldn't have done that. Ugh. So annoying. And I remember there was this other girl who I think got her period also like at 11 or something, because oh my god, yes, oh my god, I'm just remembering the anecdote as I'm oh my god as I'm talking about it. So she, I don't know what happened or when the teacher found out that she had her period, but so there was this school trip that we did. And so she was telling us what to bring, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, the girls who have their periods, they should bring pads. And she looked at that classmate of mine, that girl. Let's call her, I don't know, Olivia. She looked at Olivia, and I noticed that. Because it was too obvious. Like, that teacher was not fucking subtle at all. Like, don't get me wrong, I love her. She's one of the best teachers I've ever had, but, like, she was not fucking subtle at all. And so I noticed. And I'm not usually good at noticing things. Sometimes. Like, those type of things where, like, people look at other people and stuff. Like, I'm not good at that. But I noticed that. And I don't know if other classmates of mine noticed that too. They most probably did. Or they maybe didn't. But, like, that's what I mean. Like, everybody was just, like, paying attention to who the fuck had their period already. Like, I don't know why. I remember one of my mom's workmates, she asked her, hey, you know, is your daughter, like, a woman already? And she meant that. And I hate it when people say that, oh my god, that means I'm a woman now. Like, dude, you were a woman when you were born, and you're a woman whether you have your fucking period or not. Like, okay? There are women who don't get their periods at all. Like, for whatever reason, because they have an illness or whatever the fuck. And are they less of a woman? If that makes sense. Like, I don't like it. It's like, oh, she's a woman. Okay, so now I'm able to reproduce. That makes me a woman? So if I can't reproduce, I'm not a freaking woman? Like, I've never, don't get me wrong, like, I've never really seen myself, and I still don't really see myself as a woman. I just see myself as a girl, okay? But, like, woman, I mean, okay, I'm 17, so I'm turning 18 in less than 6 months. But I don't really see myself as a woman. I don't know if it's because, like, I don't have boobs, and because I look like I'm 12, but I don't know, I don't really see myself as a woman. Like, when I think of myself, I don't think woman. I think girl. But, like, I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why. Like, I also don't think I'm that, like, feminine. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Like, I'm super happy with my personality, but, like, I don't know. I just hate it. I hate it. This was totally really off point. But, like, that's what I hate. Like, okay, so once you get your period, you're a woman now. Like, I hate that. I hate that expression. There's a lot of expressions that I hate. It's kind of like a euphemism. It's like, okay, you're a woman now. No, just say it. Does your daughter have your period? And my mom was like, no. Because everybody was, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having your period, but honestly, everybody was paying attention to who the fuck had their periods. And it's like when this annoying friend of yours asked you who you have a crush on, and they want you to tell them, but they don't want to tell you who they have a crush on. So this was the same, like, and that was the worst, because it's like, okay, do you have your period? But, like, I'm forcing you to tell me whether you have it or not, but, like, don't force me to tell you whether I have it or not. Like, it was awful. And that's when my mom said no, because there was a lot of stigma, and honestly, who needs that? Honestly. And also, like, why does that woman care, right? So, yeah. Actually, I remember this. So all of this that I'm telling you about happened when I was in 6th grade. So I remember when I was in 8th grade, actually, I was 13. I had this friend who was in my class, and every time she had to go to the bathroom, she asked me to go with her. And sometimes when I had to go to the bathroom, I would ask her too. Like, we had that thing, like, I don't know why we didn't want to go alone. Especially her, like, I didn't really mind, but because she asked me to go with her, I would ask her to go with me sometimes. But I most of the times went alone because, like, I don't know. Especially when I had my period, because I didn't want her to hear me doing shit with the pads. Like, that's when I didn't ask anyone, and that's when I wanted to go alone, actually. But anyway, the point is, one of those days that she asked me to go to the bathroom with her, I could hear that she was peeling the pad off her panties. Like, I could hear it so well, and I had never heard that. And, like, I mean, that day she was on her period. Like, it's fine, you know? But I was like, yo. She was doing it really freaking slowly. She probably didn't want me to hear that. And I obviously acted like I didn't hear that because I didn't want to make her feel, like, awkward or whatever. I'm not that kind of girl that was going to be like, oh my God, you have your period. I heard your pad, you know? And also, like, she was going to deny it anyway. But, like, that's not who I am. And I didn't want that. Like, I didn't give a fuck, okay? But I was like, yo, she has her period. And that was, like, kind of interesting because I was like, dude, I had never heard anybody peeling off their pad except for me. Well, I mean, that makes a lot of sense because when I'm in the bathroom, I'm alone. Anyway, whatever. That makes no sense. But, you know, and now that I remember, okay, so I didn't do that technique that she did, like peeling it off slowly. That it's hard. Okay, it's hard to make it not make noise at all, if that makes sense. To do it like really quietly, that's really hard. It's really hard. Anyway, what I would do was when I had to peel off the pad, I would flush the toilet. I would flush the toilet, peel it off really fast, and then I would put it in the little bag and blah blah blah, and throw it in the pad or sanitary pad bin or whatever. And then I would continue with my business, whatever. And if I had to flush again, I would flush again. But because there was usually either nobody or a bunch of girls in the bathroom, you never know who the fuck is flushing it, okay? At least my sense of hearing, I don't know, that doesn't let me really know who the fuck is flushing a lot of the times. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's what I did. That was my technique. So if you're in an age where, like, not all the girls have their periods and you want to kind of, like, you know, you don't want anybody to know that you're on yours, just flush the toilet. That's it. Do that. It's a really good trick. I love it. So, yeah. And there's this other anecdote that came to my mind when I was doing the script for this. Well, not the script, but the outline, because I don't like scripts. I don't like reading, because I can't. Oh my God. I almost burped. Hold on. I want to burp. That was really bad. Oh my God, there was gastric juice in that. Ew. Ugh. Oh my God. Ew. So yeah, I remember when I was in 10th grade, remember that friend that I told you about who was peeling off her pad and I could hear that? Okay. That same girl never admitted she had her period. And so when we were in 10th grade, we were 15. And I remember my parents came home from the supermarket and they told me they were talking to that friend's mom. And I don't know why, like, okay, that her mom is like, she talks a lot, okay? She is very talkative, very outgoing, blah, blah, blah. And she told them, out of, like, nowhere, how her daughter, my friend, she had just gotten her period at 15. She was like, oh my God, we were super worried because she wasn't getting her period, blah, 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 but, like, finally she got it. She finally got it at 15, you know? Like, blah, blah, blah. And my parents were like, what the fuck? Because I think I told them that anecdote before, so, like, we knew that she was on her period. And also, like, everybody's getting their periods early. Everybody's getting them early, okay? Like, maybe, like, in very few cases, people are getting their periods at 15. Okay. But that was not her case. I'm sorry if that sounded different. I don't know why my computer shut down. I don't know why it happens. I really don't know why it happens. Anyway, so I was like, what? Why? Like, I mean, I get it. Like, you don't talk about your periods at all, but, like, why would you have to lie about your getting her period at 15? Like, why would you have to lie about that? You didn't have to lie. You just don't talk about it and that's it. Who cares, you know? But it feels like she had to, like, kind of, like, prove that her daughter was, like, not a woman until now, or that she was pure until, like, now. Like, I think, like, that's like, me and my parents, like, thought that it was probably that. Like, did that woman think, like, girls get horny once they get their periods? Or whatever the fuck. Like, I don't, like, why would you lie about your daughter, like, getting her period really late? Like, what does that mean? You know? It's like, okay, maybe, I mean, it makes no sense. Like, what does that have to do with sex? Or libido? What the fuck does that have to do with that? Like, I got it at 11. Do you think I was horny at 11? Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? Like, really? Nobody's fucking horny at 11 or 10 or 9. Well, maybe, but I don't fucking know. I'm not a fucking biologist or psychologist, whatever the fuck. But, like, honestly, what do you mean by that? Do you mean that we're all whores and your daughter is the only freaking pure one? Like, or the only, like, good girl? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what does that even mean? Like, okay, there's a prejudice behind that, but what kind of prejudice is that? What the fuck kind of prejudice is that? Like, it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, I'm sorry if that was offensive. I'm sorry if I went too, like, I don't know. I got, like, dude, like, it's huge. You know, like, what are you trying to say about the rest of us? Okay, we got it earlier. What if that had been true? It's like, okay, that means your daughter is better than all of us because she got it at 15? Do you think I chose to get my period at fucking 11? Do you think my other friend chose to get it at friggin' 10? Okay? Like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? You know, at that point, we all took for granted that everybody had their periods. And it was fine. Like, what does that have to do with, like, I think that she was, I think that she associates it with sex. I don't know why, like, I think she associates it with that. And that's why she tried to, like, make people believe that her daughter, I'm probably over talking about this. Am I not? Okay. I have another anecdote. I remember when we were in 8th grade, again, when we were 13, my science teacher was talking about, you know, because we were seeing reproduction in biology class. It was amazing. We got traumatized a couple times. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. He was, actually that day, there was nothing really traumatizing about anything that he was talking about, but he was telling us about how women get their periods at like 12 or something. Like, the average age of a girl getting her period is 12 and a half or something, and the average age of a woman having her menopause was like 52 or something like that. That's what I'm talking about. Like, girls are getting their period earlier and women are getting their menopause later. Really. And so when he said that girls got their period at 12 and we were all 13/14 at the time, I was 13, but a lot of my classmates were 14 already. They were like, "Oh my god, teacher, like, what are you talking about? Like, none of us are on our periods. Like, what the fuck? What is a period?" Like, they were all fucking denying it, you know? I didn't say shit. I didn't care. But, whatever. I don't know, there was, like, a lot of prejudice, you know? Why? I don't know. I really don't understand. Anyway, it's a natural thing. Like, I swear to God, it's the most natural thing ever. It doesn't mean that you start to get freaking horny, or it doesn't mean that you're already thinking about sex, like, a lot, or, like, it doesn't mean you have hypersexuality, because that's a thing where people get, like, really horny and they can't get enough and they're obsessed with sex. Like, that's a condition that some people have, and, like, that doesn't mean you have that shit, you know? That doesn't mean anything. Like, it doesn't mean you're... It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're more mature. Like, honestly, I got my period before a lot of the girls in my class, and I was more mature than them. But, like, some girls got their period before me, and they were immature as fuck. Like, what are you trying to say? Like, that doesn't mean anything. It's just your body thought that it was the right moment to start, you know, releasing eggs and building the lining of the uterus and that shit. Like, it's whatever the fuck. Like, it's not something you can control, therefore it's something that you should really worry about or, like, be ashamed of or whatever the fuck. Like, honestly, I hope that when my kids, if I have a daughter, I hope that she doesn't have to go through that. I hope that people have less prejudice around that, because it's normal and it's been around for a long time, okay? We humans have lived for a long time, and like, dude, we should be over some things already. So I think that's all I wanted to say. How long have I been recording? I can't see it. Why can I not see it? Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that I didn't go too far with the bad words. I hope that I didn't miss anything. I mentioned everything. I don't know, I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm not. I'm missing the burps, though. I only burped once. But it had gastric juice, and I hate it. Wow. Today I have water with me. I don't have soda. And I feel like that burp was better. I don't know. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you relate to any of this or whatever, you can send me an email. You can send me a DM. You can comment on my blog. Links to all of that are in the description. My voice is weird. So yeah, I hope you have an amazing day. Peace. And that was the end of the episode. Hope you liked it. This podcast is also on Twitter and Instagram at Burping It Out Pod, at BURPINGITOUTPOD. You can also find me on social media at It's Anna Regina, at ITSANAREGINA. I hope you have a great day or night, and I will see you next time.